how does light actually feel like when you don't have so much of it?
This is where I spend like 10 to 16 hours a day.
Who needs an office place, huh?
In the children's world, play is serious. It's the children who are right.
I exercise in my basement most of the time.
I love the privacy of working out at home.
Design is almost democratic by nature. The future won't work without design.
1 billion people live without electricity today. It's a humanitarian issue, but it's also a democratic issue.
All right, let's do this. 3, 2, 1.
So, hi and welcome to Democratic Design Days here in Älmhult. This is now the time when we're going to talk about the future and the big ideas of the future. And the girl who's going to host us here tonight, so please give a warm welcome to Antonia.
Hi. Hi there, Marcus.
Hi there.
Hi there. Now I know everyone here with us and watching online from home must be very curious about what's going to happen this evening.
I'm a bit curious myself, actually.
What?
Yeah.
So will you humour me and answer just a couple of questions? Humour me. Okay, we'll tease something out of you.
I'll try.
Will there be surprises?
There will be surprises.
Are there global brands involved?
Global friends and some brands.
Are there superstars?
You're here, aren't you?
Oh, such a flirt. Are there exciting ideas that could change the future?
Oh, we're only going to show some boring stuff.
Why are there children on all the screens? If this is a clue for the first collaboration.
I think they want to say something to us, huh?
Can you guess?
It's black. You can't eat it. Sometimes it is a car, a house, big house.
There can be people too, and animals.
It's not round. Like, it can be round. Blue. Little round things on top of it sometimes. Brown.
So, this evening is about the future. That's why we at IKEA think it's important, actually, to embrace the people of the future, the kids. When I was a kid, there were some things that was more important to me than others, something that made me creative, really creative, I think. I lost all of that now because I'm an adult. And it was this small piece. Do you recognize it? Huh? So we think it's pretty fabulous that we could actually invite Lego to the stage.
Please welcome out Lego Group.
Who are more creative, kids or adults? Kids, of course. Kids imagine stuff and adults keep working. They need to learn what exactly playing is. Because they need more imagination. Yes. Because they think silly is bad. I just tell them to chillax. It's okay to be silly. When do you think grown-ups grow up? Never.
Never. Grown-ups never grow up. Fredrika, Lina, thank you so much for coming here this evening. Fredrika, how did the partnership between IKEA and Lego Group all start?
So it was actually, we got an invitation from Lego. They knocked on the door and asked if we wanted to play. And us always being very curious to get new friends and to play, the answer was easy.
And Lina, the Lego Group and IKEA, why this partnership?
So we have a lot in common. Play is essential to kids, and we both believe that. So together, the Lego Group and IKEA, we really want to enable many more opportunities for play in the homes with children and their parents.
And it's the early stages, but what have been the challenges so far?
I think we've mostly been playing, to be honest. Of course, the challenge is there, which is also the opportunity. how do we create much more play for children and their parents?
Yeah, and I think probably we will meet the challenges going forward. But I think what is clear is that we have a very clear vision and mission, what we want to do. So hopefully we will overcome.
And Fredrika, with this collaboration, what do you think success will look like?
I think it is, as you say, I think it's really that we could enable, more playful experiences at home and for children and their parents.
And the important question, when will this go on sale?
It's still early. It's still early to say, but when we are here next year, hopefully we have something to.
Okay, well, let's not leave the wonderful world of play just yet. Watch this.
It's serious. In the children's world, play is serious. And adults tend to not see the serious aspects of play. And I would say that it's the children who are right. Play is definitely the most important source for children to learn things about the world and to develop in a good way. Everything that a child needs to learn, it can learn through play. Social skills, communicational skills, like science, creativity. Playing is like their own room where they can enter and do something that is not controlled by adults. You can think without having any rules or limits for what is acceptable to think. All this boring propaganda that children gets to hear from adults, it won't work, don't even try it, so on. You can just forget that. Self-esteem, how to solve problems, how the world functions, self-confidence. And if you give a child good material, creative toys, anything can happen, I would say. It will end up in a magical kingdom. To make it happen, you have to accept that it sometimes gets a little messy, that all things are not in order all the time. That's the price you have to pay to set your children free.
I love that part of the video. You can hear everyone laughing because everyone has experienced a toddler doing that, haven't they? Fredrika, why do you think play is so important?
I think actually the film shows that very well, but I think we all know play is key for our development. It's essential for children's development, but also very good for us adults. It's actually how we learn new things, how we make sense of the world, how we connect to each other. It also releases stress, increased mindfulness, which is very good in this busy world. But maybe most importantly, I think it unleashes creativity and curiosity, and that is a good skill to have for the future.
Yeah, especially in this world of tech, just proper old-fashioned play. Lena, what do you think?
Yes, of course, I agree. We've done research, the Lego Foundation, and what we're learning is that 95% of parents feel that play is fundamental for the development of their children. So, of course, we also very much see that together. And yeah, the parents also see that Lego bricks is making their kids be more creative. So we have a lot to play together around.
It's such an exciting, huge collaboration. Marcus, the potential between IKEA and Lego Group,
It's gigantic, isn't it? But, I think this thing about kids and having, for me, it's not a big difference. I have 3 kids myself, so talk about having organized in homes. And for me, bringing up 3 kids is very similar to actually, running a design department. It's messy from time to time.
Yeah, with the saying, kids like play and adults like order. Lena, do you have any idea how we can remove these obstacles for play? We do grow up, we stop playing. So how can we play more?
So I think what is really important, as also I mentioned in the research, and parents do acknowledge the importance of play, but what we can do together is really, make an active push for the importance of play. And we should also remember to keep playing. You never get too old to play.
I love that. You do never get too old to play. And a big question, I may have already asked it, but it is a really important one, so bear with me. When can we expect to see the collection? I've asked that, haven't I?
We're just playing at this stage. We said,
but let's say something.
That's
soon.
Right. Soon. Okay, soon. So it's a little teaser. That was all intentional. Please, may I have a huge round of applause for the Lego group. Fredrika, Lina, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. I'm really, really looking forward to that, as I know from the whoops and cheers in the crowd that everyone here is as well. So thank you very much. Now let's let Alice Black, the manager of the Design Museum in London, talk to us about democratic design.
Design, I want to say, is almost democratic by nature. All of us, rich or poor, whoever we are, we use design in our everyday. We make design decisions. Democratic design is the combination of 5 different parameters, very important in design: form, function, quality, sustainability, and low cost. For us at the Design Museum, democratic design is also about giving a voice to our audiences and listening to them and what they tell us they like about design and engaging in that conversation. We want to get people, just make them aware of what good design is. And in making a good design choice, they're really playing a part in creating our future. The mantra of the Design Museum, the future won't work without design. Through democratic design, I think we need to raise these questions. We need to ask people to think about how they consume things. Our resources are diminishing. The number of people living on this planet is increasing. So we can't just carry on making and making as if there's no tomorrow. I want there to be a tomorrow, and for that tomorrow to exist and for us to live together on this planet in the best possible way, we need design. We need design to make a future for all of us.
Design for everyone. I love it. And that is what IKEA strives to do, is to really bring design to everyone. But do you think that you do reach every person?
No, fair to say, but we're really trying on an everyday basis.
Marcus, I know you're trying, but is trying enough? Now for our next collaboration.
The history of esports. 1972, first ever space war competition at Stanford University. 1980, the Space Invaders Championship attracts 10,000 gamers in the US. 1982, gaming inspires pop culture. Movies like Tron premieres. 1984, esports makes it into the Guinness Book of Records. 2006, the prize money gets big. $1 million to the winner of the Fun Technologies World Wide Web Games Championship. 2007, Asian Indoor Games, side by side with traditional sports. 2013, colleges in the US offer athletic scholarships to esports players. 2015, very first esports arena opens in Santa Ana, California. 2017, the International Olympic Committee acknowledged the popularity of esports. 2024, Summer Olympics in Paris. Esports is being considered as a new discipline.
Please, can we welcome to the stage former world champion Tommy from Area Academy. Tommy, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and Area Academy?
Yeah, well, my name is Tommy Ingmarsson from a small town called Lidköping, where I founded Ninjas in Pyjamas, a well-known esports organization that competes in different games. I'm also a 10-time world champion, and the founder of NIP, or Area Academy.
Pretty impressive.
Area Academy is a company that works with pedagogical structures within esports, youth camps, school programs, elite training, and so on.
Tommy, what do you think the benefits are of esport, working with children and working with younger people?
The list is so long, but it's teamwork, strategical thinking, problem solving, language improvement. Yeah, the list is so long.
I feel like this list might be long as well, actually, Marcus. But how did this connection happen and this collaboration?
You know, sometimes it's very unscientific. It started out with a phone call from Tommy that thought that we should do something about esports. You know, there are so many things that could be solved ergonomically for people using, you know, normal pieces of furniture that doesn't actually work. So that's the reason for us collaborating.
I mean, watching that short history of esport, you've brought me a little bit up to speed. But tell me, I mean, it's so popular, the people playing and the people viewing.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are so staggering. There was an event last year in Poland where there were 175,000 live attendees, and I think it was 43 million stream viewers.
That's almost as big as Democratic Design Day.
Almost.
Almost. And it actually were larger than the Olympics 2 years ago. So there was an esports event at the same time, and more people were watching the esports event than the Olympics 2 years ago.
I mean, okay, maybe it's all just new to me, but this blows my mind. Now, outside of professional esport, your friends who are gamers, do any of them kind of suffer from sore wrists, sore backs from kind of playing the whole time?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of incidents lately where top players have been injured, wrist injuries, back injuries, and they've been away for a long time. And it really affects the large organizations, because imagine if Zlatan were benched with a...
Cost a fortune.
I know.
Yeah, so you don't have a normal substitutes as in normal games, so it's really hard for the teams to lose their star players.
Well, we can actually see some of these players. Let's see the video.
All right, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robin Engström.
Elin Androsiani. August Peterson. Therese Santo. And I am a gamer.
And nowadays I'm a little bit more of a casual gamer because I have a bunch of these who are also gamers.
This is where I spend like 10 to 16 hours a day.
I have my ordinary gaming peripherals and also a pretty good chair.
Usually, I sit on a normal chair, very uncomfortable. It often hurts in the back when I game for
20 hours straight. You get sore underneath your butt. Mostly when I sit for hours and hours in game, I sit like this.
The chair is really bothering me. I play with a blanket behind my back because I really want more support for my lower back. It gets kind of hot when you game. When the situations are intense, the pulse can go up because you are thinking about loads of stuff at the same time. So being able to be cool and healthy is very important.
So make sure whenever you sit down and game that you take care of yourself.
I mean, that's almost looking quite dangerous, isn't it? A little bit. I mean, if they're playing for so long, people are genuinely hurting themselves 20 hours at a time. That's actually impressive. Marcus, what can IKEA do to help with this problem?
I think a lot, actually. But first of all, I think that I need to apologize to humanity for us not taking on this problem before. It's more than 1 billion players, and we say that we're for the many people. Now we will truly embrace the many people, actually. But taking on the problems, we've been working with ergonomics of the home for 75 years. So maybe we could take some of those learnings and mix and match that with the learnings and all of the things that you know from Area Academy.
Well, we're lucky we've got the right people working with us to help solve this problem. So it's a unique situation, a unique problem to fix. Take a look at this.
Unique is the daring revolutionizer of the med-tech sector, creating medical wearables. Employing digitization, 3D printing and cognitive systems to enhance device functionality and democratize access. With a handful of measurements and 4 photos of a customer's existing limb, Unique can 3D print a matching prosthetic. Unique was founded in Silicon Valley, San Francisco.
Eyþór, Francis, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
3D printing. I mean, it's come a long way, but it's still quite a young industry. So where are we with it today, now?
Yeah, this is an exciting time for 3D printing. We have been in this medical wearable space, wrapping 3D printing around prosthetic legs, shipping it in thousands, even million units for dentistry. And it's relatively expensive, it has been, and it's taken a while to print, but the great thing now is that that is changing very fast. And so I think now is the time for IKEA. I think it's a good moment to kind of look at democratization of design and using really 3D printers for that, for mass customization.
And looking at this problem, looking at Tommy, eSport and gamers, how do you think this can help with that?
Yeah, I mean, gamers are an extreme use case, right? They're athletes, they're competing with their minds and their bodies. I mean, the video, they said they were spending 20 hours at a time in a chair. It's a very extreme use case. And I think, bringing this type of personalization to fit unique ergonomic needs, unique body type needs, unique modes of play, I think this will give somebody a healthier life and a better competitive advantage.
And Marcus, this is a wildly new and different project for IKEA. What potential do you see with this collaboration?
I see so many potentials. Actually, it's to be able to personalize ergonomics for each and every person. That's a gigantic possibility. But it's also a possibility for IKEA to change our way to work with the value chain of IKEA, to get the factories out to people, not actually bringing things from factories to people. So it's a completely different outlook on product development and design for the future.
But speaking about the development, I mean, Eyþór, Francis, you've been working on this for 6 weeks, but it's already early stages, but it's already come so far.
Yeah, that is the power of 3D printing as well, is that you use it to bring concepts to life very fast. And I think, especially in the retail, where you want to respond to trends very immediately, that is what 3D printing can bring you. And so I think we worked with a team that is actually in New York, San Francisco, Spain, London, and in Sweden, and Älmhult.
Yeah.
And we brought it here together, so excited to show it to you.
So this is the vision, but we're now going to welcome out to the stage Lisa Baird, who's going to talk us through the process.
All right.
Okay, Lisa, you're going to have to break it down for me. I'm trying to understand what this will be like for the user. So let's take Tommy, my brilliant case study. Tommy has a bad chair and an important game tonight. He goes to IKEA.
Hey, can we please not use me? I'm an old retired gamer, come on.
Tommy. Okay, Tommy 15 years ago. He goes into IKEA. What does he see?
Well, he will see this chair, actually. You'll see this chair in the retail store. He'll notice that it is customizable, both cosmetically and biometrically. And he'll also notice that if he just gets a 3D body scan right there in the store, a huge array of customization options will open up to him.
Okay, because looking at this, I hear body scan. I'm like, wait, how does that work? But the body scanner will be in IKEA?
Right, it'll be right there next to the chair. It's a retail experience, a very immersive experience unto itself. Download the app, do the scan, store that scan right there in your app, locally on your phone, and you're done.
That does sound quite simple, but it's not very immediate. Tommy, 15 years ago, has a big game tonight.
So that's the beauty
win,
of
of course.
Well, he's obviously going to win.
That's the beauty of it. He actually can take this chair home tonight, even without customizations. He can start using it right away because the design has been perfectly adjusted for esports. So there are advantages to using this chair even before customization.
Okay, before Tommy.
Yeah. So just as Unique adds 3D printed components to prosthetics, we insert these 3D printed cushions. We use Tommy's biometric data from the 3D scans in order to generate these lattice structures that you see here. And what that'll do is it'll force Tommy into the right posture and the right configuration through grading these mechanical properties.
So the 10 times world champion, Tommy, has his brand new seat. He's got the big game. He obviously wins.
Obviously, it's Tommy.
Obviously. Okay, Tommy, 15 years ago. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah?
Even
simple as that.
Yeah, good.
Even 15 years older, Tommy loves it.
Tommy today loves it. And like we keep saying, he definitely wins.
Mm-hmm. He definitely wins. But the next day, he wakes up and he remembers that he does have this 3D body scan on file. And he's curious, so he opens it up and he starts to play with the app a little bit and find out what he can do to customize this chair. He can select exactly which parts he wants to customize. He can select which of his various body scans, because you can store many, that he wants to use to customize it. He can select a color, and then he can just add that to cart and have it drop shipped right to his front door.
Okay, so he is able to get a chair immediately, but then your customized chair can come in the mail.
Exactly. So it comes in the mail, he brings it into his house, unboxes it, removes the original seat, puts this custom seat on, starts using that custom seat right away. He notices probably improved posture, maybe less back pain after long practices, and voila, a perfect custom experience.
I mean, that is unbelievable. That is revolutionizing how people will play esport and games. Thank you so, so much for your time. Aethor and Francis, apologies. And Tommy and Lisa, thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's incredible, isn't it? If that's what can be done in a couple of, I was going to say a couple of months, but that's in just a couple of weeks.
Actually, a couple of weeks we've done this. So that's how fast you can work, and you work in this new manner.
So who knows where it's going to be in a couple of months. Can we now welcome out Stefan Dietz?
Growing up in a household of fourth-generation carpenters, Stefan Dietz's early bond with craftsmanship has profoundly shaped his development as an industrial designer. In 2008, Stefan Dietz established his studio in the facilities of a former joinery, which provides the ideal platform for his unique combination of hands-on experimentation and technical know-how. Led by curiosity and supported by a network of local craftsmen and specialists, Dietz's office is dedicated to transforming ideas into actual products with great diligence and proficiency.
Stefan, this collaboration is all about the future of work. So why not start with the first question? What do you see in the future of work and the workspace?
Well, I think the future of work will be definitely collaborative. You're going to work with the specialists from all over the world together with your local team. And you work on more and more complex projects. And we know the future will also be digitalized. So we all work on the computers, on our laptops. The laptops made this thing possible, but it's also the case that probably the future of workspaces will be very monotonous because they all look the same. And I think this is where we need to do something about it. That's what I'm interested in.
And Marcus, of course, IKEA, its styles and designs our home, but also our offices. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, actually, what I could see, just strolling through our office spaces, there's no one sitting in their desks. Everybody's in meetings. So I guess we need to design something about meetings also for the future, because people want to work together. So that's key.
And this is quite an unusual collaboration because you're both actually almost testing it yourselves. You're kind of the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Feels funny calling you a guinea pig, but you know.
Yeah, okay, but then you have to actually say the project is about the new offices of the IKEA in Almhut. And I think this is for us an extremely interesting, different approach, because we usually don't know our clients. And this time we talk to the people whom we are doing the tools for. So I expect from this a much more daring approach. I think we don't have to go to marketing departments and negotiate if our ideas are right. And we can just go to the people and ask them, and we can do test setups, and we can ask them if it's okay, or we change it. And I think this is for me one of the big reasons why I think this should be done. This project's really good.
But Marcus, it's so much bigger than just a new office, isn't it?
It is actually. What we're trying to do is to find something which we are lacking today when we build our new office spaces. We call it we build for change, because the only constant for the future when you make room for offices is it's going to be changing all the time. So we're looking for something which is in between architecture and furniture. So we're going to be the guinea pigs of that. Let's see if it works.
Before we go into the details, take a quick look at this.
So I don't think offices are going away. I believe there's still a need to be physically present for certain kinds of work.
I'd prefer to go into an office because I feel you've got the atmosphere of an office and you feel like business, whereas at home I wouldn't get that same feeling.
Maybe a study will show that it's better to be lying down and we'll all work in bed.
My most productive sessions are on my bed even, so I think that comfortable, casual space between like working from the office and also working from home, I think that's going to merge.
I like being outside, so I don't know, maybe in the future we'll have outdoor offices or something like that.
Having like a nice scenery, like by the sea, you have your laptop, you have a good signal, like you can do everything. So who needs an office place, huh?
I think it'd be interesting to see how furniture can complement with technology.
A desk is crucial with lots of drawers and lots of space in the top.
So I think in the future you'll have sort of individually designed pods where you can do deep work.
I mean, today you have like glass panels as whiteboards, right? But in the future you can project your screens onto different surfaces.
A bit like an airplane, so you'll have like a seat and then you'll have a laptop screen and you'll be able to have all your amenities around you. So sort of some sort of super seat, I think, will be the main facility. And a desk. You need a nice desk, don't you? A nice wooden desk.
Yes.
These two love a desk. That is what I love every time I watch that video. So a desk, Stefan, do we need one?
No, I think the desk is the reassurance that you have still a job in the company.
I do have a job because I have a desk.
Could be important.
Yeah. But work you can do somewhere else as well, definitely.
And I've heard in terms of you working with workspaces, walls are something you're working with.
I think what we are interested in are the vertical surfaces in office. I think we are interested in finding out how we can use them to structurize a room, to create space for concentration, space for meetings, for different scales. We even want to make the walls movable, flexible. We can project on it. We can make them sound absorbing. We can write things on it. I can imagine that it's like working in an open book, that you go in between the pages, and it reminds me of a stage and a set design of a stage. And I think the office should be more complex visually, and it should also play with transparencies. And above all, we should see the traces of our everyday work over there. That's, I think, what we like to do with Marcus and his team.
Yeah, so almost like your little work home, your workspace. What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I think it's important actually to see the actual work. What has happened when everything is digitalized, you only see screens. You don't see what people are working with. So prototypes and everything out there, so you could share, because when you share, you get ideas from others as well.
Exactly.
And you could also be able to, confront people, which is good as well.
Well, as we're at Democratic Design Days, collaboration really is key. And like you just touched on there, collaboration happens with people in meetings, in spaces where that can take place.
So that's the new thing that we're going to design, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, well, literally, watch this space. Now, before we go any further, when can we see the results?
This question again.
Oh,
but it's okay this time, Antonia.
Oh, it's okay.
Because we're actually going to see results already from out of the autumn. We're going to try out the first prototypes in the autumn. So, and already now I know that Stefan has some more prototypes being guinea pigged at his office as well. I think that it's good that you try them out first. So you see, take all the defaulties at your place.
The guinea pig idea.
Then we bring the good stuff to ours.
Yeah. Can we please have a round of applause? Stefan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, where there's work, there's play, and of course, sport. Calling all creators. Josephine, who are the creators?
Adidas is a creator sports brand, and we call our audience creators because they are really the ones out there using their creativity to rewrite the rules and shape their own reality.
Marcus, IKEA, Adidas, how did this conversation start?
It's kind of cool, isn't it, huh?
It's super cool, super cool.
We have had our eyes on Adidas for a while, and actually I think it's been likewise, because we like to collaborate, both companies. And I think that Adidas have proved during the years also that you're really good at collaborating, so we were looking into that.
And Josephine, IKEA as a collaborator and a partner, how does this work for Adidas?
Well, we do believe in the power of collaboration, and we take an open source approach to innovation, which really means we're inviting the creators to shape the future of the brand together with us. In IKEA, we see the shared value in open source innovation and design, and where Adidas believe in the power of sport in changing people's life, we see a real synergy in IKEA's movement in improving lives through democratic great design.
And can you tell us a little bit more about how that creative process works with these partnerships, of which Adidas has some fantastic ones?
Yeah, well, the goal is always to be as open and collaborative as possible, and really opening up the door to the brand and welcoming a new perspective. We also like to not put too much expectations of the final product. That usually takes us to a very different, much better place if you're allowing yourself that freedom.
And from the Adidas perspective, what's the team hoping to achieve with IKEA?
Well, we're always looking outside of the brand to see what we can learn from other innovators. So this is really an exploration for us. We want to make it easier for more people to engage in sport in their home environments. So the starting point of this partnership is really looking into that and see how we can better facilitate that. And when we were thinking about this and imagine who we could be collaborating with on this journey, there is no company in the world that better understands in-home behaviors than IKEA.
Thanks for that.
And Marcus, you and IKEA, what are you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, I think it's likewise. There's no other brand in the world that better understands sports than Adidas. So we want to make something about, to actually bring sports to the home. And that's what we're going to explore, to see what happens there, because there's a big need, apparently.
There is. Let's take a little look at this video, seeing what people think about training at home.
It's kind of a nice setup in our house because the steps are here and then I can put the band here.
These are all my marathon medals. Hopefully as I run more marathons, maybe I'll need another hook.
And over here I have my bike and my workout station. So I dedicate this corner to doing my strength training and stretches.
Work
out. I exercise in my basement most of the time, and I will set the timer for the wash. 33 minutes, boom.
We get the kids from school and preschool. I take my mat and do some exercises.
I live here with Tobo. She is my 8-year-old golden doodle, and this is Poodle, my 3-year-old toy poodle.
If the items that you need to help you work out are right in front of you, then you kind of really don't have an excuse not to use them, especially when they're right in your face, like the foam roller. And I'll do it right here on my floor, right next to my bed. It's great. I can catch up on TV, I can read a book, I can read a magazine, I can be listening to music.
I love the privacy of working out at home.
I quite often look at a computer, maybe do a yoga session, and most often the kids are with me.
Bring my battle rope down, bring my band, like I can attach it to the pole. I do like band runs like this, like any and everything. I mean, I feel like it's an open space, so boom.
I like that I can just come home and just whip out a quick workout, but I don't like the small space and my dog's kind of, being in the way of doing certain stretches.
I don't know about anyone else, but I feel both really inspired and quite stressed out by watching that video with the toddlers and the dogs. Well, it's quite clear in small places what the problem is. So what issues, Josephine, are you going to explore with IKEA?
Well, we know that home plays an important role in creating lifelong habits, both for adults and children. So we will really be looking into how we can make fitness fitting into their home environment and how it can be a part of their daily routines.
And Marcus, the video, I noticed it's just women.
Yeah, they're kind of super users, aren't they?
Yeah.
When it comes
Sure
to training
they
at
are.
home.
Yes.
Personally, I think it would be nice to explore, what if we did a collection by women, for women? That would be kind of fun.
Heard it here first. Heard it here first. And why is the home such a great place to work out?
Yeah, I think it's the fact of the matter is that, if you want to work out at home, it's, so much cheaper than paying your bill to the workout place. The other part is that most people have a lack of time, so it's easier also to work out at home. So that's why it works, I think.
They've got the kids, they've got the dogs.
Yeah.
Life is busy. Now, I know you're interested in the holistic approach to this. It's not just about training, sport, exercise, but also eating and sleeping.
Yeah, it is. At IKEA, we have been working with sleeping for quite a long time, and we serve 600 million people every year in our restaurants. So could we incorporate that thinking into this collaboration? That would be kind of nice, to have a more healthy lifestyle through what we learn together with Adidas, and also to maybe make people sleep in a better way. So, because if you really want to be competitive, or if you want to train in a good way, you have to think holistically. So I think that's also going to be part of this collection.
I'm hearing holistic, but I'm also thinking of meatballs in bed.
Meatball in bed.
Yeah, I'm hearing it's
horror,
like the food.
Horror.
Yeah. Josephine, with this collaboration, what will success look like?
Well, we're really in the beginning of this journey, so we're super excited starting to collaborate. So success at this point is really starting to working with IKEA, looking into understanding better how these behaviors can be served, spending time in people's home, and really start to imagine solutions and how we can make that exciting and accessible for everyone.
I'm really excited about getting our two design teams to work together to merge them. That's going to be different.
It is an incredibly exciting collaboration, and if, like me, you live in a small space, then you're going to answer and help some of my problems. Can I have a round of applause, please, for Josephine? And a hugely exciting collaboration between IKEA and Adidas. Next up, kill the lights.
Little Sun puts the power of the sun in the palm of your hand, creating beautiful portable solar light and energy devices you can take with you wherever you go. But Little Sun is much more than a lamp or a phone charger. It's a global social project that is connecting the world through sharing the sustainable energy of the sun. Little Sun was launched by engineer Fredrik Ottosson and artist Olafur Eliasson.
So if you want to experiment a little bit in the darkness, you can try, well, how does light actually feel like when you don't have so much of it? Hi there, everybody. Did you notice the light went out? It is dark now. I, on the other hand, have a little light. So today, this morning, actually, I noticed, as you saw too, that the sun is really shining outside. It's basically pouring down with energy, you could say. So I went out with my little son, and I said, I'm just going to harvest, just going to gather a little bit of power here in my hand and bring it. So when I meet you, I can stand here, and you will be in the darkness, and I have the light. Obviously, all of you have things in your hands right now. You are writing, blogging, taking pictures, and so on. You are consuming power as we speak, like a lot of power. And just think about if we were now in a situation where there was no power, right? You would have to wait to write that article until you had power again, your phone, your battery, your camera, so all of that, right? So we'd just be sitting here. Maybe when you got home, maybe your kids couldn't do homework, you couldn't cook, and so on and so forth. So I'm very interested in, well, how does that then feel, right? Because now we're so used to it, so we kind of go, yeah, power, energy, I kind of got it. I also understand theoretically what does it mean when it's dark, right? I sort of get it, but I don't know how it feels. So at Little Sun, we're very interested in holding hands with the sun. How do we design that experience? Well, how does that feel? We know that sustainable questions obviously is something we need to develop a not just theoretical relation, we need to have it in our hand, in our homes. We need to come up with solutions which becomes normal everyday life. We need to come up with answers, and this is why I'm obviously very excited about collaborating with IKEA to sort of look into that. Now, about this darkness, it is actually so that 1 in every 7 person, which is, I mean, see how much light that is? It's kind of nice, right? But 1 in every 7 person, it's like not just the ones over there, but it's actually all the way over between the second and the third column. So all of you have no access, right? And the rest of you, you do, right? So obviously, one could say, oh, that is their problem over there, where they will somehow sort it out. We sorted it out in Sweden. Why should they? But obviously, the question about sustainability and the right to have access to energy, it's all of our solution, all of our problem, all of our responsibility. So these ones should obviously be, in terms of responsibility, also here, because we know the climate, the globe, and all of that, right? It's like one planet. There is 1.1 billion people today with no access to energy, and these are the people that Little Sun has worked with so far. Not all of them yet, fair enough, but this is what we're working on. Please.
One billion people live without electricity today, something that is not possible to imagine for many of us who have a modern life. And that gives an idea of the energy gap that is still out there. Today, we have, for the first time, we have energy outspoken in the global agenda. Without energy, you cannot develop. You cannot have access to the many services, to the many opportunities that we have in the modern society today. It's a humanitarian issue, but it's also a democratic issue, because now we're moving into digitalization era. If we want to have clean cities and livable cities, we need to have clean energy. People cannot pump water, which is vital for their lives, because they don't have energy. Sun, that's something many developing countries have plenty of. In that way, these renewable resources can be harnessed at the local level, then can improve the local economies, and at the same time, they can be used to generate affordable electricity to large communities. So I think we are moving in the right direction, but there is still a lot of work to do, and we cannot accept a scenario where millions of people in 10, 20 years' time will still be without electricity. That's a no scenario.
So Olofer, what does it really mean to be off-grid?
Thanks, Antonia. Well, what we know as off-grid is the places where there is not a power station sending power through the cable out into the wall, where we have a socket, and then we sort of plug in whatever we need. That is what we know. When that is not happening, is off-grid. But we have another off-grid too, because our generation, we start to say, oh, I need to go hiking. I just need to kind of go into the mountains for a little while and just take it easy, no phone, and I'm going to bring my solar something, and then I'm going to live off-grid a little bit. So we have to understand on-grid is not just where the grid has not reached it. It's also about having a great time, right? So it's a little more complex than just about off or on. It's also about having the choice of saying, well, I am going to take a break, no phones, no cameras, and have a little bit of solar power with me in my pocket.
And Marcus, with IKEA's involvement in this collaboration, what do you feel you can create?
I think we could create some really good stuff together, actually, and focusing on solar power then for off the grid. And what IKEA could bring to the table here is of course, our know-how about product development. And I think that would be so lovely to meet with all of the know-how of actually solar powered and also off the grid living from out of Little Sun. So that's the match that we're looking for. And
Olafur, what really excites you about this collaboration?
Well, obviously, IKEA knows how to get things done, right? So it's an amazing company, and it's very exciting for a small, sort of, kind of used to be grassroots, then we got a little organized, now we're working. We have learned so much from working on the ground in Sub-Saharan Africa, at the bottom of the pyramid, and we're so excited about taking that knowledge and also allowing the IKEA customers to learn from that knowledge and to have a relationship with solar power or with sustainable answers on the kind of domestic level. As I said before, I think IKEA, because it's about accessibility, availability, affordability, right? So I do think the democratic idea of IKEA very much is in the spirit of Little Sun, bringing out this sort of idea of Little Sun to the IKEA customers.
Yeah.
And Olafur, do you think we'll always be dependent on grids?
Well,
I know it's a really big question.
But you know, we also know that we could not imagine that there would be phones without a cable, and now they've just stopped it, and the cell phone is just taking over. So I think the grid question is very interesting. Obviously, it's also about the right to energy and the right to to have a sustainable alternative and to a choice. And I think the challenge is really how to emotionalize that, how to shape energy, which is so abstract, so that it actually becomes, oh my God, that's a great object. That's a great thing. That is a sustainable choice. Because sometimes sustainability is like, oh, I feel guilty and I don't feel, so, and then, but also it has to be amazing to say, I'm just going to empower myself. I am a power station. And I need
a more hedonistic view upon sustainability.
Yes, and hedonism is obviously complex, right? But essentially, yes, because it's about also activating people to say, well, what can I do to take a more active step? And if we don't offer the opportunities, the solutions, then people might feel disempowered. Then they have to, then they can only participate in maybe buying better power, which people should from the greater grid company. But it's very nice to also, for the children to learn, I can, as a child, contribute to reducing the carbon emission. So my daughter asked me, because I made her use the Little Sun. So she said, so like, Dad, where is all the carbon I saved? Where is it in the garage? Where is it? And the fact that my 10-year-old daughter said, where is the carbon emission that is now not in the sky? And I said, well, it's a little more complicated. But then we had that conversation, right? And now, I mean, I'm not sure it's like a major change for her, but just the fact that she kind of say, okay, energy, carbon, sort of get that. We need to, I think, give energy a shape.
Well, that leads me perfectly on to ask Marcus if you can give us, I know it is such early stages, but any idea on what we could expect from this collaboration?
A range of products. That's what we're looking for, actually, that we have designed together. And I think that we're going to focus on solar power things from the very beginning. But what we aim to take on for the future, when we talk about off the grid, is also things around water and it's around communication.
And, where we are today, what does Little Sun hope will come from this collaboration?
Well, obviously, we can amplify our message through the muscles, IKEA. So we, of course, are very excited about the robustness of the research, the talent, the material sourcing, the science that actually is inside of IKEA. So it's a great luxury for us to sort of get access to all these smart people. So instead of me and my great team in Berlin having to do everything ourselves. So it's obviously very exciting for us.
Oh, it's a hugely exciting, fresh, new collaboration. Olafur and Little Sun, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
And to Marcus, I'm going to say thank you from me, but I'm going to mean it from everyone watching online and everyone here. Thank you for the most inspiring, exciting, educational, eye-opening day, and that's just today. We are coming to the end.
Well, not really exactly, Antonia. I'll need to fetch something.
Well, I think we're coming to the end. I could be wrong. It has happened tonight. It does happen.
Okay, there's actually one more thing. Straight from the presses. It happened yesterday night that I wanted to share.
Okay,
so,
literally with the press release in your hand. Okay,
run
what
the
is
movie.
this?
I'm going to read the press release for you. IKEA to collaborate with cultural hub St. Heron. IKEA and St. Heron announced a collaboration exploring architectural and interior design objects with multifunctional use. Contemporary art is a huge part of people's lives today. At IKEA, we are curious about the creative space in between architecture, design, art, and music, and how that could come alive in the homes of the many people. This is what we want to explore together with St. Heron, says Marcus Engman. I know that guy. St. Heron, the company, if you don't know about it, was founded in 2013. It's a multidisciplinary cultural hub with a focus on building the community that we wish to see exist through music, visual art, and performance art mediums. The hub is centered on its artist and artisan collaborations and boasts previous efforts with Michelane Thomas, Jacoby Satterwhite, Kenesha Sneed, and Fleemans, to name a few. St. Heron's founder, contemporary artist Solange Knowles, and the company's co-curator, artist Armina Musa, partnered to create original multimedia installations that creatively reflect on intersectional art and cultural themes, foster thoughtful fellowship, and push the conversations of our communities to the forefront. With their help, St. Heron immediately outgrew Normalcy's insular web or creative collaboration by hosting pop-up events in various cities. So, this is the last collaboration of the day, which I think is truly amazing.
Truly amazing. Truly amazing. How exciting. And another collaboration. You're going to be very, very busy.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got
what
a
we
lot
aim
of
for,
work
you know?
to do.
I'm easily bored, so that's good.
Well, that is good. My question, I mean, we've been working so hard. Why so many collaborations being presented on this one day?
Because there's so many different people out there, and if we want to cater for all of the many people, we need to do a lot of different stuff. So that's why.
And I feel like that is the perfect note to finish this today. Thank you to everyone who's been watching online, to Marcus, to IKEA, to all of our incredibly talented, exciting collaborators. Thank you so much for joining us. The sun is shining, and I think we've all deserved a bit of time outside, so let's go, let's barbecue, and let's party. That's a wrap.